everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a week in my life. It is moving into the fall season and I definitely want to make sure that I am getting into a new routine for the fall. I feel like naturally our routines sometimes change, and just like getting back on track in general. I feel like I had a really busy but fun summer, but I want to get back to kind of working on a weekly schedule of like Monday to Friday again, and making sure that I'm, you know, spending time moving my body, going on walks, like actually doing all the things that I need to for my mind, body, soul, essentially. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna take you through a few days in my life, and hopefully this will motivate you guys to kind of get back on track as well. I feel like this is like a natural phase of most people's lives of around the fall season, getting back into routine. And I put a lot of emphasis on getting into routine and taking care of myself a lot in the fall time so that I can prepare myself for winter, because winter is a hard one. I definitely struggle a lot with seasonal depression. So I always want to make sure that I'm really just getting my mind right, my body right for the introverted season that is going to be amongst us very, very soon, but it's fine. I am excited at the same time. I have really tried my best the past like year to stop looking at self-care and like healthy habits as this job and really look at it as a way of life, because that's basically what it is. And the way I kind of like to structure my weeks, at least like this is what works for me like right now in my life, is to kind of work on like a Monday to Friday schedule. Even though like I'm an entrepreneur, I can work at any time and there's always something to do. I do think having some sort of structure in my life is really good, because if not, then I could just be like, I don't know, everything can be very chaotic and stuff. So lately I kind of like look at my day into like 3 chunks, which I feel like most people do in general. Doesn't matter like what job you have or if you're going to school or if you're not working. But I like to have my mornings. So my mornings will consist of daily movement, eating, doing some sort of journaling, getting my mind right in some sort of sense, and then preparing for the day, which is like the daytime right now, obviously. And I'm either like filming, I'm editing, I'm doing a podcast episode, I'm studying, I'm doing brand work. Sometimes I have appointments, sometimes I'm doing one-on-one coaching. So like that's the chunk of my day. And then around like 6, 7-ish is usually when I try to kind of like end my day, and I have dinner and then I do my night routine. And I kind of like to stick to that Monday to Friday. And then on the weekends, it's not that I don't work, again, because the nature of my job, there's just things that I'm gonna need to film or do, or I want to on the weekends, but my weekends are a little bit more lax, a little bit more like non-structured, just so I feel like I'm having a break. It's not even that I feel like I really need to have a break, because I feel like I do a good job like in the mornings and throughout the days and even at night. I make sure to like give myself options when it comes to movement and eating and even like doing mindset work, because for me, like not every day is the same. I have a mood that fluctuates based off of my cycle. I in general just struggle with my mood sometimes, depending on the season of life that I'm in. So for me to like wake up every single day and do the exact same thing, it literally doesn't work. I've struggled for so many years in my life trying to make that work, and it just doesn't. And I'm way more productive when I give myself like flexibility. So I like to always do that. So like even this morning, I woke up, I had my supplements, I had some banana, and then I ended up having like a little bit of soup, and then I ended up eating soup like later, I'm sure you guys saw. And I had a peaceful morning. I didn't play anything, no podcast, no nothing. It was just like peace and serenity. I did some journaling. Right now in my life, I'm really into doing a lot of gratitude work. I feel like there's phases that sometimes we can go through in life, at least for me, where you can kind of slip into focusing a lot on the negatives or things that aren't going right in your life. And being somebody who is super into self-development and like I'm always doing mindset work and this, that, even me, like I can slip into that version of me that is like not being present and not being grateful and not being like, okay, like this is my life, like what is going good. So I'm really in that phase of my life right now. So I'm spending a lot of time journaling all of the things that are beautiful about my life, things that I'm excited for, and also just things that I am really proud of myself, like thinking about the past year, all the things that I've accomplished. I remember making like a video in like the springtime being like, I want to get on a routine again, and I want to go through the summer, enjoying the summer, but I also still want to hit my goals. And I just want to look back at the end of the summer and just like be proud of myself and just know that I did my best, and I did just that. So like just being proud of myself. And I think that that's something that we should all remember to do, because I think sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves or like always look for the next thing, but it's like you should be proud of the things that you have accomplished or the lessons that you've learned or the things that you are learning from the past year. There's a lot of you guys who messaged me on Instagram and you guys are telling me like, you know, you've spent this whole year like watching my podcast and like watching my YouTube videos and stuff, and you've come such a long way, and you even thank me and stuff like that. And I always just tell you guys, like, you should be so proud of yourself. Like, I'm so proud of you for all the work that you have put into this past year, because it's like, it's hard, but sometimes we just kind of forget, you know? So I'm just really practicing being present and grateful. And this morning I ended up going on a really long, beautiful fall walk. I really want to spend as much time as I can outside, because I know that eventually it's gonna be so cold. It's not to say that I won't go outside, because I always go on walks, but it's just not gonna feel the same. So this morning I went to the water and I actually sat on the bench, and I literally, like, the sun was like beaming on my face, my whole body. And I just sat there in silent meditation, and I closed my eyes, and I probably sat there for like 30 minutes. And boy, was that something my nervous system needed. And I haven't done that in a while. And this is what I mean by like leaving your mornings to kind of go in the direction of what your body wants or what your intuition knows is good for you. Like, I could go work out and do weights and stuff, and it's not to say that I'm not gonna do that at some point this week, but this morning it felt so aligned to just go on a nice walk and just sit there and like be in meditation. Like, it wasn't even my plan, but I was like, this feels good to me. And I know that it's so good for my nervous system, especially being somebody who's just lived such a high stressed life, and I struggle with autoimmune diseases and things like that, chronic health issues. I have to really care about these things. I have to care about my nervous system. I think everyone really should, obviously. And what I mean by nervous system is like, are you stressed? Are you in your head all the time? Is your body talking to you through symptoms? Those are good indicators that most likely your nervous system has been dysregulated or still is. And practicing meditation, practicing living in the present, practicing not worrying about the future, those type of things can really help heal you. And I just want to like really be present also, because like I said, the seasons are changing, and I don't want to feel like one day I just wake up and all of a sudden it's like dead winter time and I'm like super depressed. Like, I really want to go with the flow of life, meaning the seasonal changes, meaning waking up at different times depending on when the sun is up, or like really working on my rest. And again, like, I went out and the sun was on my body, and I was like, I'm gonna stay here with the sun right now. Like, this is where I need to be. And I just want to do more of that. And I feel like that's something that like primes your nervous system and primes your body to just move with the season of life. So it doesn't feel sometimes like there's such this hard hit when winter does come, because it's almost like you've been moving with the season of life. Like, you've been preparing yourself the same way the seasons have been preparing the world to move into a new season. Like, you see the leaves are falling off the trees. It's not like it just happens one day, it happens gradually. And that's kind of like what I want to do when it comes to like moving into the season. I hope that made sense. So anyways, I am just getting ready for the day. I have to go film something for a brand deal, so I'm getting ready because I'm going to be on camera for that. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to edit all that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to do a lot of editing, and I have to study. I'm going to do some studying. I'm doing a certification. I think I've probably mentioned this before. I'm taking, it's basically kind of like a somatic therapy, but not therapy because I'm not a therapist. So like coaching certification. It's an online school, actually based in Australia, but it's online, and it's called the School of Embodied Arts. And I have been taking that like throughout the year. I kind of like took the summer off to not study really, because like, I don't know, it was just summer and stuff. So anyways, I'm getting back into it. That way I can finish my certification. But I do coaching. Like, you don't need to like have that certification to be a coach, and I have other schooling and just like other certifications that I have done in my past, but that was just something that I wanted to embark on a little bit deeper with clients this year, is kind of like helping people really connect more to their bodies and tapping into the wisdom and the knowing of what is true about you in your life and your soul path and your everything. Sometimes we can go into like, okay, how do I fix my life, and what are the steps that I need to take? And I'm gonna look to someone else to tell me those steps. And I just try to guide people, and this is what the certification like helps me with too, is like guiding you to the truth of you. Like I'm not the one that has the answer for you. It's actually you, but sometimes we don't have the tools to kind of like tap into our wisdom. So that's just basically what I'm doing. And a goal of mine is basically, oh my gosh, every year, sorry, the blush just like fell on the table. That's why I said that. Every year I usually invest in myself when it comes to taking any sort of certifications or courses or things like that. Cause I just like love learning, honestly. Like even outside of it having to do with anything to do with me doing coaching or even like my podcast and stuff, I'm not really like doing those things so that I can bring new information to my audience or anything. I am genuinely just like learning. So that's something that I like to invest in. And I think that you should always invest in yourself, honestly. Like you can spend money, you know, going on trips and stuff, which is great. You can do that. You can spend money being social and going out and drinking and like spending money on clothes and things like that. Sure, you can do that. Or you can save your money and invest it into yourself, meaning go to therapy or save up your money to take a course that's really interesting to you or put it towards traditional school. I have always done that in my life. I've spent majority of my money on things like self-development versus like clothing and stuff like that. Not to say that I haven't, because I used to be like pretty bad with my spending habits, to be honest, when I was like in college and stuff, like always buying new outfits and this, that. But I spent a lot of money on just like certifications, courses, school, and even like books and stuff like that. So I just think like always educate yourself, even if you have gone to school, like take a course, maybe even have a goal of doing that every single year and putting some money away for that. I feel like it also just helps you feel like, I don't know, you're always growing and evolving as well. Anyways, I'm gonna get to my work day, put my phone on do not disturb, which is what I like to do just throughout the day. I kind of have to check my phone a lot though still, because I have like emails and stuff like that, but I try and do that like through the chunk of my day. And then we will convene when we are finished the work day. Okay, we have a very late lunch. It is almost 4 o'clock. I ended up doing so much work, but we are eating. So I have, this is all actually like meal prepped. If you watched my last video, I prepped for the week. So this is my beef teriyaki bowl. I have ground beef that was sauteed with zucchini. And then I have some basmati rice that I made with chicken broth. And then I just obviously put this in a bowl. And then I have some avocado, some green onion, and some kimchi, which is like what this is here. And I put a little bit of teriyaki sauce on top. It is so good, so balanced. We got protein, we have some carbs, we have a healthy fat. Kimchi is a great fermented food. And I'm also gonna be having my concoction here, essentially. I put some orange juice and some ginger, not ginger actually, this is a different one. Some kombucha. I can't even talk because I'm so hungry. So I'm just gonna have this on the side and I'm going to eat this. Okay, it is 6:30. I've kind of had a weird day and I actually don't want to be done my work day. I want to work, I was gonna say work into the night. I'm not working into the night, but I don't feel like chilling, honestly. So this is what I mean sometimes, like, I don't know. It just like works better for me to like not always have, not always have a strict plan Monday to Friday or just like every day, because there's just different phases of my cycle and or just days that I feel more motivated to do things. I did take like a midday break just because I was waiting on like going to film something. So I feel like I kind of like did a little tiny bit of chilling, even though I didn't really actually do anything. Like I didn't watch anything or anything like that, but regardless. So I ended up just cleaning up my space, which is what I like to always do before I go to sleep. And I just went on my second walk because that's something that I really want to focus on this week, is getting in more steps, and then in general going back to the gym. I'll be going back to the gym on Thursday. Tomorrow I have a really early morning therapy appointment with a new therapist. This is a GI specialist that is a therapist, which was very interesting for me to find. So I will talk about it tomorrow probably. I mean, it's probably just gonna be like a lot of intake and stuff. I have like a regular therapist as well where we do parts work and just like, I don't know, the normal therapy kind of stuff. But I wanted to try this therapist as well. So tomorrow it's so early that I'm probably just gonna like go on a little walk. And then it's kind of gonna be another non-traditional day because in the middle of the day I'm going to acupuncture, which I'll talk about tomorrow. And I will get so many steps in because I usually walk there and back, and it's in Yorkville. So it takes about 50 minutes to get there and 50 minutes back. I'm almost at like 10K steps today. So I feel good. I feel like I haven't been doing that good with walking this summer. Mainly because like I've just been busy and like doing things, so like maybe that's why. But my zest for wanting to go on 100 walks a day wasn't really there this summer. But I just really want to kind of like push myself back into doing that because it's just so good for you. And I always make sure to like walk at least once, but that like the minimum for me like last year was two walks minimum. Most of the time I'd be doing like 3 walks. And another thing that I want to do with like my Monday to Friday schedule is get back into basically editing my vlogs, especially in different increments. I just find that it's really hard to sit down and edit an entire vlog video because you have to go through like all of like the raw clips and put them together, and then you have to have the sections for like the intro and then any like B-roll clips, especially if I'm doing like more weekly vlog. It's just like a lot of parts, and my attention span is just, I start getting annoyed to the point where then I kind of like do a shitty job at editing, and then I'm not excited about the video and I'm not excited about the thumbnail, and then I just don't, it's not that I don't post it, but you know, versus like when I take my time with a video and I don't feel very overwhelmed, I feel like at the end of it, it's like a good product and I'm like really happy and excited about it. So that's what I'm gonna do for this video for sure, because it's throughout a few days. I don't usually do that with my podcast episodes. I did have an editor for a while, but I edit again myself, and I can get that done usually in one shot just because it's just me speaking for a long time. So anyways, I'm gonna do that and then call it a night, and we will see you tomorrow. Few days. I have not been that good with vlogging, but also I've been just kind of doing the same thing, so that's why I kind of didn't vlog my morning routine, because I've just been waking up, going for a really long walk, and just enjoying the fall, because it's honestly, it's not gonna be here for a long time. Last time I talked to you guys, I was going to therapy, like a new therapist, which is really good. This therapist specializes in working with clients who have IBD and digestive issues. And I feel like a lot of you guys know if you watch me, but when you go through trauma, when you go through hardship, when you go through trauma that is anything that is too much too soon or even too frequently, it doesn't have to be a huge trauma, it can be something that is just too much or too overwhelming for your nervous system, which is the entire world. We all go through some sort of trauma in our lives, even if you've grown up with like really great parents and really great this, that, and the third. Like there's just things that can overwhelm your nervous system. And what trauma really is also is your nervous system going into a state of fight or flight, hypervigilance. It's going sometimes even into freeze mode or into some sort of state where, if not completed, if not released, if not processed, it will stay stagnant and stuck within your body. What does that mean? I mean, it can mean a lot of things, but one way would just be you kind of stay in that trauma response of fight or flight, perceiving everything to be a threat, always having to be on, anxiety, hypervigilance, stress. And the more times you stay in that state, your body is no longer operating in a balanced place. And when you are, let's say, somebody who's lived through a lot of trauma or stressful situations that led to dysregulation in your nervous system, your body can start attacking itself. Your body will release cortisol, it'll release adrenaline, it will be in such a state of focusing on running away or fighting a threat that it no longer functions and uses its beautiful resources to make sure your hormones are balanced, or your organs are functioning, or your digestive system is in a healthy state. All of those things are a result from your body being unhealthy, and what causes that unhealthiness in a way is things like trauma. But of course, there is genetic predispositions that we basically all have. If you haven't learned about epigenetics, I would highly suggest you do that, where essentially, like, yes, we have certain things that are kind of passed down or in the line, or family line, right? Somebody has this type of cancer or this type of disease or like this type of autoimmune disease or this type of whatever, right? Kind of runs in the family, this, that. A lot of the times what epigenetics also will say is, some people who are predispositioned, let's say for me, to have colitis that runs in my family. If your environment is too much, too soon, too frequent, stressful, the genes that you are predispositioned to, essentially, can turn on based off of a unhealthy body, essentially. Not your fault. This is things that kind of you're like born with in a way, things like that. But environmental factors do play a huge role. Environmental factors, mental health factors, everything. Mind-body connection. Bringing it back to the GI therapist. She works specifically with a lot of people that currently live through chronic disease, let's say like IBD and colitis. So she has certain different types of modalities to help people when it comes to their relationship towards their body and stress and how they manage stress, obviously, relational trauma, things like that. Anyways, I have a lot of relational trauma, as do most people, honestly. And so in my life, I've had to be on fight or flight, not rely on anyone, stressed all the time, worried all the time for real reasons. I've seen a lot of things that I shouldn't have seen. I just was in a really unhealthy environment basically my entire life, but even like teens, early 20s was really, really bad. That is when I started having a lot of health issues. And I didn't learn healthy coping mechanisms to manage stress, to regulate my emotions, to understand when my body's in fight or flight, and to have the proper help, and to feel like I have a safety net, and to feel like I can rely on people. And that takes a toll not only on the way that you move through life and you perceive things and people and your relationships, but also the relationship that you have towards yourself, but also the way your body is going to be operating. If I'm going through life believing I am so unsafe because I have nobody around, my body is going to be primed in fight or flight, and it's just going to be ready for anything. And the more times that you're in that state, again, your body is not using its vital resources to put that energy where it should be, let's say to digest your food properly, or to balance your hormones, or to utilize vitamins and nutrients, or to have your organs work a certain way. It doesn't mean that clearly they don't work at all, but a lot of the times it's because you are just not in a state of rest and digest. You're not in a state of calm. You're not in a state of trusting. When you're in that state, your body can be in balance. Your body uses its resources and energy to work in a way that is actually healthy. And so I've spent my entire, 20s, I guess, even a little bit before then, working on self-development, but also going deeper into childhood trauma and healing and all these things, and I have changed a lot. I've worked a lot on my health conditions and things like that. I write about it in my book, The Ultimate Glow Guide. If you're interested, I will have it linked down below, where I had nerve pain, and I worked through that when it comes to my mental health, things like that. So anyways, I wanted to work with a therapist that specialized in something particular that I do have, because I feel like I'm more seen and more heard. But also, like, she just has so much experience with working with individuals that specifically struggle with these chronic illnesses. So I just feel like it's kind of a good fit. So I'm gonna see her more. And honestly, we've kind of already decided that, bringing it back to my relational trauma, let's say you're in a relationship and you have anxious attachment or disorganized or avoidant, whatever it is. Your body's getting affected by the way that you show up in relationships, or the way that you regulate after being in a interpersonal relationship, right? Like, you don't feel safe in a relationship. So the whole time you're in a relationship, you're not feeling safe. Your body's not feeling safe. And the more times you do that, that's not healthy for your body. Or you're in your head, or you're being avoidant, or you don't know how to process your emotions. All of those things, like I said, can affect your body. So she kind of was just basically saying, like, I feel like if we really go deeper into your relational trauma, I feel like you will see also a lot of growth and healing when it comes to your IBD, which I've already seen. Like, this is not something like new, and I haven't never worked on relational trauma before, but we're just gonna dive more deeper into that. Doesn't mean that moving your body and sleeping right and eating right doesn't help. Of course, all of those things help, but at the end of the day, if you're in a toxic environment, if you don't know how to have healthy relationships, if you don't know how to communicate, if you have no boundaries, all of those things will affect your health. Why? Because you're not regulated at the end of the day. And your nervous system, if in fight or flight, it signals to everything in your body. We don't need to be worrying about healthy hair, healthy skin, healthy digestion, retaining muscle, having good bacteria in your gut, which also affects all of those things that I just said. Like, there's a whole host of things. So anyways, that's basically what I did yesterday. And then I went to acupuncture, which is really nice. It's just like, I don't know. It's just something that I like to do also for my health. And then I ended up having a coaching call, and I basically worked. And then I recorded a podcast today. I made a new fall mood board, which definitely go check my second channel, because we talk about transitioning into fall, and I show you guys how I made my mood board and everything like that. That episode might come out after this one, so just make sure you're subscribed to the Glow Up Secrets podcast. And now we are here. So I have yet to go to the gym yet this week. I'm hoping to go to the gym tomorrow. We will see, but I've just been like, honestly, like, I'm moving with the season of life. I talked about it in that episode, where it's just like the sun's been out every single morning. It's been so warm. I'm like, I just want to go on walks and walks and walks and walks. So I'm kind of just doing that, since I've kind of taken a break a little bit from the gym, just because I've had some gut health issues. So sometimes it's not comfortable to go lift weight. And also, I just in general don't want to stress my body too much. So I'm kind of like working on nervous system regulation in that way. Anyways, we've had a good week. We've had a productive week. I'm just gonna take off my makeup now and we'll do some skincare. First thing that I'm doing is using this oil cleanser, because I have makeup on because I've recorded a podcast episode today. So this is like an Ayurvedic blend, and from a brand that I don't know how to say. I never know how to say it, but it is really beautiful. And then I go in with like a regular gel cleanser. Then I'm gonna go in with this Overnight Texture Renewal Peel. This has retinol and ferulic. I don't know how to say that. I don't know. Ferulic. I don't know how to say that. I can't. I'm dyslexic. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce that. But I have been using this for like a few days. I have found that my skin has actually been really bright every single time that I wipe this on my face. So I don't know. Like, I mean, it hasn't been long enough realistically, but it's been nice. So that's what I'm just gonna use. But yeah, guys, I feel honestly so freaking excited for fall. I think like making my mood board too, and just like setting the vibe for what I want this fall to be, and like things that I want to accomplish, and just getting clear on like my career plan and like my focus for relationships and just content and everything like that. Like, I'm just feeling excited for a new seasonal change. Even though I love summer, I thrive in summer, like it's so easy to be motivated because the sun's out, this, that, but there is something so nice and cozy about like the days getting a little bit shorter and like spending more time inside when it comes to like self-care and things like that. So let me know in the comments like what type of videos you'd like to see this fall. I know that I definitely do a lot more routine stuff and like resets in the fall and winter time. So if you guys like those and it's like motivating for you, then let me know, because I feel like in the summer I wasn't doing too many of them because I just feel like, I don't know, I was on my shit this summer, but also I was just like having kind of like a hot girl summer. Like we were going to dinners, we were doing drinks, we were wearing the cargo skirts, we were living our best life. So I feel like it was kind of hard for me to like do like the week in my lives or the days in my lives and a lot of resets, because I don't know, I kind of just like cleaned as I went and this, that. But now I feel like I have more time so I can like make more of these videos, and I do find like these videos are helpful for me when I watch different creators do days in my lives and like healthy kind of stuff, because it just keeps me motivated, because I feel like we just need way more motivation in the fall and the winter time. I want to start doing a few more get ready with me's as well now that I have my beauty room all set up. It just like makes me motivated to actually film, and I'm gonna do another one actually tomorrow before I go on another date. If you guys watched the last one, I'm going on another date. That's all I'll say. That is all I'll say on the internet right now. I'm going in with vitamin C from Dr. Dennis Gross as well, but I figured like if I'm getting ready and stuff, I might as well like do a Q&A. So we're gonna talk about some relationship stuff. I did like a Q&A on Instagram, so if you guys are interested in that, that video will come. This weekend I'm gonna do some fall stuff with my friend on Saturday. I have no idea what we are going to do, but it's just like, it's really now or never, because you only have a few weekends during the fall before it becomes like absolutely like way too cool to do anything. So I feel like it's a good time to like start planning with your friends, like going on TikTok and typing in things to do in your city, and then setting a Saturday or a Sunday out and you and your friend go and do stuff. Like me and my friend Kendra, we do that all the time. Like we'll do that in the springtime, we'll do that in the fall time. Sometimes we do that like in the winter, obviously a little bit harder and like less motivating to do stuff like that, but she's like my friend that we do those things with, and it's kind of like a tradition. So it'll be like a weekend or two every single month that we'll do that, except for like in the summer. I feel like summers are different. Summers are very much so dinners, concerts, and like, I don't know, like events and stuff like that. So we don't really do a lot of like wholesome going on TikTok and seeing like, can we make friendship bracelets or like pottery or something like that, because there's just always so much going on during the summertime. But the fall, spring, and even like winter, I like to do more of that. So definitely do that with your friends. Like honestly, like make an effort to see your friends, even if it's like one weekend out of the month. It will help your mental health, and that's like, that's something I used to never do. I used to never do that really because I had to work weekends and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just like wasn't that connected with my friends all the time. But it is really important for you to have friends. It really actually is. So I'm speaking to anyone who is like that introvert, the I don't need people, I can deal with all my stuff on my own, this, that. You will expedite your healing journey and your growth as a human being if you allow connection into your life. I just want to say that, okay? If anyone needed to hear that. And I know it feels sometimes so counterintuitive to do, coming from me. Like it just feels, it's hard for me to like let people in. It's hard for me to trust people. It's hard for me to go to people with anything. But like when you do that and you get past that uncomfortable feeling, not only do you just become somebody who is like more secure in your relationships and you trust people more and this, that, but life becomes like really nice to not always have to do everything on your own, or like, I don't know, always be in your head and stuff, because all you do is deal with your problems on your own, or like spend so much time with yourself. And sometimes I find like I have like impending doom and anxiety about life sometimes, and it's simply because I spend so much time alone. And like I have to remind myself that simply like if I just spend a little bit more time with people, engaging and interacting, and like going on a walk with a friend, doing coffee, things like that, those small things, like that will fix my anxiety a lot of the times. But like sometimes I'm like, oh, it's not gonna be that, it's gonna be like I need to do like years of therapy, or I need to like figure out why I have impending doom. But like sometimes it's as simple as like you just need human connection for a second, you know? So anyways, that's just things that I'll be focusing on this fall. I went in with my Charlotte Tilbury magic water cream, by the way. So I think I'm just gonna end this vlog here because I already know it's long because I've already edited half this video and it was already like 18 minutes. So this will be enough. And tomorrow is Friday. Like I already basically said, I am definitely gonna be doing a walk, and I don't have like any new foods that I made this week. I'm still kind of like eating the food that I had made for the week. I'm basically like running low on everything, but I don't really have anything to kind of like show you that's crazy. I don't even know if I'll go to the gym. Honestly, I might just do like another long walk, but it's fine because like even next week I'll go to the gym and I can record more content as well. And it's really just gonna be like editing and doing content. So I feel really good about this week. I hope you guys have a good week if you're watching this going into the week, or if you're ending the week, be proud of yourself. There's definitely a lot of things that I didn't get done this week, and I didn't really follow, quote unquote, follow exactly the way I wanted every day to go, but that's fine. I just went in the flow of life, and it's beautiful and it's messy, but it's also very healthy to be like that and to not be resisting how things seem to want to go on a week-to-week basis, really. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.